9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.
Say his name and he appears. I believe it said.
What's up, good people? If you hear my voice, we back for the second time today, and we're not going to waste no time. I hope you guys followed instructions earlier. When you see the red light, bring your ass. It's the Monday Nightmare Raw recap. And oh my God, we started off kind of lackluster, but it ended very strong, which is why I didn't want to waste any time getting on here. I'm going to let you guys fill in the chat so y'all can rock with me for a few minutes. I know we did the Raw preview earlier, and I thought there would be a little bit more to the show coming off the Royal Rumble. But I mean, in all honesty, it was a very lackluster Royal Rumble. So we're on the build to the road to WrestleMania, and we got to hear from our Royal Rumble winners. But as far as action tonight, there were only 3 actual matches that took place, I believe, which very light on the work schedule. I don't know if there's travel issues, anything like that. But it didn't feel that monumental. What's up, Dylan? They're just teasing so many things without payoff yet. We didn't get any who's the masked man, anything like that. It's just teasing the dissension between obviously Adam Pearce as a GM and Braun Breaker. And that's how we started the show. Braun Breaker hijacked the show, came out pissed off that he got eliminated early, didn't get the manifestation of becoming Royal Rumble winner and going on to main event WrestleMania. And really, if I read between the lines, because I don't know what that division is like, a complete, utter failure to me right now. But when I read between the lines and I think about how big Vegas is supposed to be for WrestleMania, consecutive WrestleManias in the same city, which has never been done before, I wonder if they just felt like Braun wasn't ready for that type of spotlight yet. And it's weird. I think Councilman mentioned earlier that the guys are kind of, the guys that are at the top of the card now are kind of blocking your future, which I can kind of see that now. And I don't know if it's just a Vegas thing, but by next year in 2027, it doesn't get better because we in Saudi for WrestleMania. So, they're going to pack the show with more, if you want to call them reputable names, just to sell a ticket. But I don't know. The road to WrestleMania, the road to the Elimination Chamber didn't get that much clear outside of what we just saw in the Netflix stream. We know there's going to be Elimination Chamber qualifying matches starting next week. We're also going to get Natty taking on Maxine Dupree. Shout out to Maxine Dupree. She did have a very strong promo in between, I guess, what we don't see here in the States, saying that she was going to, that Natty is not going to be able to decimate this version of Maxine Dupree. Very strong promo. Very strong on-camera parts for Maxine Dupree tonight. But we start off with Braun Breaker, and the best part of this segment was really Adam Pearce giving it to Braun, giving it to him, saying he's going to be lucky that he allows him to keep his job after that shitty Royal Rumble performance. Great GM work by Adam Pearce to stoke the flames there, really setting off the alarm that there is a power struggle there. And it's just really getting to the point where I think we might get some Austin Vince flashbacks. Maybe Braun attacks the boss. I think that's the only way this ends now, because we've done so many things, and even the Paul Heyman segments are getting stronger with the fuck around and find outs. But it seems like something has to break for it to move forward. And I don't think it has anything to do with the masked man. It has to be Braun really getting pissed off with Pearce. He doesn't care that it's his boss, doesn't care that he gets suspended, fired, whatever. Something has to give there. But this was all a segment just to show that power struggle. Braun being upset about the Rumble spot, demanding a title shot, whatever he wants. But also just to reintroduce LA Knight, who was literally taken out by the Vision. And he had a night of drive-bys. Took a drive-by on Austin Theory and Logan Paul before fleeing the scene, which left Braun Breaker confused, asking Paul Heyman, what are we doing? Literally, what are we doing? And I really don't know what we're doing with the Vision, but hopefully it gets clearer as we move into the Elimination Chamber picture. Next, we had our first action of the night, the Young OG taking on El Grande Americano. I'm not going to say original or anything like that. It's just El Grande Americano. And I felt like this match could have been a lot better because they've been teasing it for weeks. But I don't know what's going on there. Same way with Javon's Royal Rumble spots, even though he was Iron Man. Like, there wasn't that much that hit in this match for me from an athletic standpoint. I mean, the drive-by that El Grande Americano did to Javon when Javon was trying to get rid of or pull off the mask off, I think, Bravo. I mean, it felt like he missed that. So from a chemistry standpoint, I wish that they didn't have the commercial breaks during this match to really let it breathe, the spots and things like that, because these are both two very talented performers. Javon Evans picked up the win just because we got interrupted by the OG Americano, whoever you think it is. I mean, I just love that we have so many people paying homage to this great performer that is El Grande Americano. But that was enough for Javon to get the upper hand on El Grande Americano and hit the OG cutter for the win, which even felt lackluster because it feels like it was just a means to really get to this point. Just to get to like, hey, it's WrestleMania. We're going to get mask versus mask. And I'm wondering why we didn't at least get OG El Grande Americano backstage talking with American Made, anything. It just feels like they could have used more time tonight to continue to tell that storyline. And I feel for Javon because the win felt flat regardless of that. It didn't really do what it was supposed to do for me. But I hope Javon Evans is actually in the Elimination Chamber. Yeah, if Javon is in the Elimination Chamber, that'd be dope for him to actually continue to tell his story as a character. Now, next up, outside of that match, like I said, there wasn't a lot of action tonight, unfortunately. We got some backstage segments. Paul Heyman went to go talk to Adam Pearce. Pearce told him to fuck around and find out. I mean, something's got to give there, but he informed Paul Heyman that his client was in action against Penta later tonight to be ready because Braun Breaker wanted a match with LA Knight, which wasn't going to happen tonight because he said LA Knight was escorted out the building for interrupting the show. We hear from Gunther, career killer. Funny moment. Not a lot of comedy moments at the Royal Rumble on Saturday night. This was a great comedy moment. Gunther coming out doing AJ's Tyler pose and to the phenomenal music. Dope. I thought we were going to get a farewell from AJ. Not the idea we had here at all. Gunther didn't really even get much of a promo in because he was met by AJ Styles' former tag team championship partner, Dragon Lee. Random, I know, because I know they're doing like this whole LWO thing. Dragon Lee just came out and shot the fade with Gunther off rip. Came out, started giving that man hands, got the upper hand for quite a bit of time. I thought that Dragon Lee was going to attack Gunther and flee, but he tried to hit the barricade and Gunther hit him with the ring bell, and it was a wrap from there. Man got choked out till he went limp. Very gruesome scene having that man hang from the ring apron. And that's just not a good visual for this month. I'll just put it that way. Not a good visual for that choke out. But I imagine this is going to lead to a match probably next week or the week after with Gunther and Dragon Lee to continue further the storyline of Career Killer and him retiring AJ Styles. So we didn't really get like an AJ Styles moment of silence, nothing like that for his career. But if you've been paying attention on socials, almost every superstar globally has been giving AJ Styles their flowers and talking about the types of ways he's been a great performer, but also how he's helped advance careers in multiple promotions all around the world. So beautiful thing to see. Next up, we were supposed to have, this is probably my favorite moment of the show. And if you watched WWT live earlier and we talked about the Royal Rumble, this was really the highlight of the Rumble for me. And for me, this was the highlight of Monday Night Raw. What looked like a tag team match for the War Raiders, who I haven't seen in action in I don't know how long, was met by the Ruler and Oba strutting down to the ring. told both these men, "You gonna die tonight," and that's what happened. That's what happened. Obafemi, who they're letting us know loud and clear is still a free agent, calling his shot, going to the ring when he wants, nerfed the entire tag team, not in the match, just took both men out. Two very large men at that. Beautiful. That's how you debut somebody, and that makes up for all the wrongs of Obafemi's elimination on Saturday. And if he's a free agent, I hope we do this on Friday night. I hope he does this next Monday. He's going to be away from NXT, but I hope we get Obafemi just showing up, laying waste to the roster until he feels like there's a challenge big enough for him to sign with either Raw or SmackDown. That was great. I hope he comes out on Friday and takes out like all the Wyatt Six or all the MFTs, one or the other, because that's how you build up the ruler while not putting him in the title picture. And I'm just going to call my shot right now. Obafemi needs to be in Elimination Chamber, and he needs to go full Shayna Baszler. And I mean, he needs to pin everybody out them damn pods. Whenever he enters the match, he pins everybody. And we'll figure it out later. We'll figure out which match he's going to be in at WrestleMania, because I can easily see a space where you're doing the Cody, Drew, Jacob stuff, and then Oba inserts himself into that. Now we just got this dope-ass Fatal 4-Way for the title. I like the idea of that, and I like the idea of Oba getting his lick back on Drew, finishing that story with Cody, and ultimately he can probably leave WrestleMania as a champion. I like that a lot. Oba to the moon, please. Please and thank you. Eric and Ivar, I'm sorry that had to be y'all, but that was the highlight of Raw for me. Like I said, we had some backstage segments, not much going down, and then we learned what's next for the Bellas. They came out to Philly, of course, because if you don't know, Nikki has some ties to the Philadelphia Eagles. This promo felt flat, but it was more so about reintroducing the Bella Twins after the Royal Rumble, with Brie coming in and letting them know that they have their eyes set on the tag team division. I believe they were the ladies to either eliminate Bayley and Lyra, or they definitely eliminated Rio. I don't remember. No. I think Rio was actually eliminated by Lash Legend, if I can remember correctly. Lash Legend eliminated Io Sky. I think the Bellas eliminated Bayley and Lyra. But the tag team division is heating up, and this is the next group of women that are going to be in that tag team division. And I got to say that I think Councilman called it earlier. Rio versus the Bellas at WrestleMania makes a lot of sense. But I also think Charlexa can be a part of that match. I think Lash and Nia can be a part of that match. A lot of great tag team action. And you can't forget the Kabukis, but I feel like number one contendership is what's going to happen next in the next few weeks, maybe at Elimination Chamber. So the Bellas can kind of get their just due for that title match. Hell, we've had tag team championships decided in Elimination Chamber as well. I can easily see the women's tag team titles being decided in Hell in a Cell. Sorry, not Hell in a Cell, in Elimination Chamber again, which would be like very dope for the Bellas to wrestle in that type of match. I would like to see it. But the Bellas are going straight for the tag team titles, and I got to feel like they're going to eventually get those belts in due time to kind of have their swan song in their run. But shout out to Nikki Bella for not for pretty much saying she has good taste for her Philadelphia ties. That was probably the highlight of that promo. Penta versus Bronson Reed, a match where I again was not given my just due of tsunamis. The tsunami quota starts at 10. We only got one. We only got one on Saturday. We only got one tonight, and I'm very disappointed that we're not getting tsunamis spammed. But as far as in-ring action, this was probably, I don't want to call it the match of the night, but I like the way we finished this match. Penta going against all odds against 3 out of the 4 members of the division. He had some good spots in the match. Bronson Reed, obviously the more dominant character, dominant as far as getting the upper hand on Penta. And I thought the match was over. I legitimately thought the match was going to be over. Of course, Penta didn't have help from Ray. They said Ray got hurt in the Royal Rumble, and of course, Dragon Lee got nerfed earlier tonight by Gunther. So Penta was on his own. That until LA Knight came out and hit a BFT on the chair, Bronson Reed in the ring, out at the bottom of the ring, and fled the scene. Another drive-by by LA Knight. So LA Knight getting his lick back for getting tsunami on the roof of the car earlier last year. And that's the story we're telling. It's the Vision versus LA Knight for now, and whoever the masked man was from Saturday night, which I'm pretty sure they're going to rush it and let us know by the end of the month. There's no way they won't. But Penta was able to pick up a count-out win because Bronson Reed could not he could not break the 10 count. What a special little nobodies. Not breaking the 10 count kind of protects both superstars. It gives Penta a big win, but also doesn't make Bronson Reed look weak. And in the midst of all this Vision stuff, to me, I think Bronson Reed's the strongest character in the Vision that really needs more love as a single star. You can't beat Roman Reigns in your homeland and nothing comes of that. Eventually, we got to acknowledge that and move that man forward while kind of dimming the lights on Braun Breaker, just making him the loose cannon. I feel like that's the move for the Vision. Hopefully, they agree with those thoughts. And somebody for the life of me, Theory and Paul chased LA Knight out their arena. Penta picks up that win. I have to know, chat. Whoever knows this, why is Bronson Reed's signature move, not the Tsunami, why is his signature move called the Jagged Edge? Because I have so many questions. Because it's hilarious that move is called Jagged Edge, especially if you know the R&B group. That's why I'm alluding to that. But yeah, and I'm reading this now. I'm trying to figure out what LA Knight's new merchandise, because they're definitely pushing it. The new red shirt that says Unchosen. A lot of people are saying that's an homage to Unreal, which goes behind the curtain and lets you know everything. Unchosen, meaning that he's not the chosen guy. I don't think LA Knight will ever be the chosen guy, because I think if that was the case, he would have won the Rumble. But we know who the Rumble winner was eventually. So we'll have to see about that. We did get our sleaziest champion return. Dom Mysterio came back just to introduce Liv Morgan as a Royal Rumble winner. It was good to see Dom back. I don't know what his injury status is. He's been out with that shoulder injury he suffered, I believe, in AAA in the tag match. Still AAA Mega Campeon, still Intercontinental Champion. No tea leaves on when Dom is going to be back in ring, but he came back just to introduce Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan saying she doesn't know what she's going to choose as far as her plans for the WrestleMania title match. She said she might go to SmackDown on Friday and see what her options are, and Lord knows she ain't going. I mean, Lord knows she don't want to face Jade, but I can kind of see it. When the Royal Rumble was in Tampa, I don't think that was last year. I think that was 2024. I believe that's when Jade debuted, and I'm pretty sure Bayley won that Royal Rumble, and I'm pretty sure the bottom four, Jade as well as Liv Morgan, were in that bottom four. And if I'm correct, I wish Boza was in here or some statisticians were in here. I'm pretty sure Liv Morgan eliminated Jade from that Royal Rumble. So we can see. I can see it. And I'm glad that we addressed the elephant in the room, because Liv Morgan, even though she didn't have her plan set, she said a lot of glowing things about Raquel Rodriguez, that she's going to be a champion, that that's her sister, and that she's the most dominant woman on the roster, all these things, ahead of her Philadelphia street fight against Stephanie Ricker. Raquel wanted to address the elephant in the room and saying, like, hey, why'd you eliminate me? And it was kind of a weird moment, because Liv said, oh, well, because I know you're not a jealous person. You have a title shot. Now I have a title shot. A win for one is a win for all in the Judgment Day. And they had this very slight agreeing moment. And then Raquel asked Liv to stay in the back so she can defeat Stephanie on her own. The match itself, I mean, we got Dom back temporarily. The match itself, and this was kind of your main event match because the promo segment ended the show. This was actually a good match, and I think it made Raquel look strong, but it showed, thanks, Special Little Nobodies, I thought that was true. So she did eliminate Jade. So I can kind of buy Morgan and Jade if you really want to paint it that way, in the underdog way, because a lot of people think Liv is going to go babyface anyway. We'll see. Might help Jade actually have a challenger that they can put like promotion behind if it is Liv, if I'm being honest. But Ricker and Raquel, number one, what in God's name happened to Stephanie's music? There was nothing wrong with it. And I don't even think her music maybe it didn't register to me when she was coming to the ring because there was other things going on in the show. Of course, Liv and Dom were exiting the ring, but they changed Stephanie's music completely, just judging by when the match ended. But this is a great match. I like that we had a lot of moments that showed Stephanie using the elements of hardcore to get the upper hand on Raquel. The meteor into the trash can, the devil's kiss on the stairs, the devil's kiss on the chairs. We show Philadelphia street fights to me should expose all weapons. I feel like they should go into the crowd, fight backstage more. But in these arenas, you want to make sure the fans can kind of see the action best angle they can and are not just looking at a screen. I get it. And I feel like they did well enough in this match to kind of really paint the picture that there was no holds barred. Anything goes. I like that Stephanie used her speed, used her high aerial offense a lot to really thwart the power of Raquel, because that was the story in this match. What I don't like is how the match ended. I don't like the way the match ended at all. I thought that we were going to get a Chingona bomb through the table and that would have ended the title reign for Stephanie. But Liv came out, tried to get Raquel to use the title belt on Stephanie. She gets hit in the corner with a chair shot. I mean, Raquel took so many damn shots to the head with weapons. I'm strange how she didn't lose the match sooner. But that happens. It causes Raquel to go land on the table. Think we're going to spinal tap on the table. We don't. Raquel takes Steph up. Think we're going to get a Chingona bomb through the table. We don't. Roxanne comes out, tries to help. The headbutts are too much. Roxanne and Liv are thwarted so easily from a woman who just been working like a 20-some minute match. I don't get that. I don't get how the numbers game just did not work at all. It was poorly produced. And it was enough to kind of get that hurricanrana through the table, which didn't happen as fast as it should have, but it was a good spot. And then we get spinal tap and we're out. We're out. Stephanie retains the title in a shocking move that I didn't think was going to happen, because I really thought that this was a night that we start building towards some real Judgment Day dissension, the same way we did when Dom won the Intercontinental title and Finn was gunning for that. I don't know what we're doing. Like, if Raquel can't get the title now off Steph in a street fight where the odds are in her favor, good on them for making Stephanie look like a star, because for weeks with the ankle injury, they did no such thing. But by the end of the match, you couldn't tell the ankle was a problem. She was even selling the ankle injury to the ref, and the ref was weighing the odds of stopping the match. I thought that was going to be the turning point where, hey, she loses the match, but you kind of have a bailout call because she was hurt. She was fighting injured. They didn't pull the trigger, and it makes Raquel and the rest of Judgment Day look worse than anything. So it's about time to end the experiment on Judgment Day altogether, because Roxanne couldn't help. She got out of the paint very easy. Liv got in the way. Then Liv hits the Oblivion on Stephanie and holds the title up and leaves, but she leaves alone and doesn't leave with Raquel or Roxanne. So just weird booking overall with that. But to me, it made Stephanie look like this overwhelming mountain, which is good. She needs that type of booking, but it made the whole past month we did of Stephanie being hurt, still in the ankle injury, making Raquel look larger than life. It made it look like nothing. So I don't know if she'll get another shot, but I didn't like that at all. I don't like how we're utilizing the women's division to push it forward before Mania. And now I guess we'll see if Liv goes to SmackDown on Friday and kind of gets in Jade's face. But we're probably going to get an argument next week where Raquel says, I told you to stay in the back. You didn't help. And I don't know, all for what? We end the show with the tribal chief pulling up in his truck, heading straight to the ring. And he wants to give his address. He talks about how he won his last Royal Rumble, I believe, in Philly. And now Philly holds a special place to him because he won his second Royal Rumble, and now the show is in Philly. I didn't know we were going to get here so fast, but man, did they sell this, because I wasn't really here Of course, Roman went on ESPN last week and said that he left for 2 years or came in sparingly so somebody else could pick up the ball. Nobody did. But this promo, man, like Drew McIntyre or CM Punk, and then CM Punk coming out and pretty much disrespecting Roman by talking about Finn Balor because that's unfinished business. And the Tribal Chief says, hey, you come here interrupting my time to talk about Finn Balor, you must have lost your damn mind. And then the whole backstory. This is where long-term storytelling is like so beautiful because Punk took it back and said like, hey, you just took my blueprint. I'm the best in the world. I had the title for 434 days. You had it for 1316, but just because you did it longer doesn't mean you did it better. And yeah, Drew is the easy way out. And Roman acknowledging that he beat Drew McIntyre for like 3 years, and then Punk retorting and said, yeah, but with the help of how many of your cousins did you beat him that many times? They just made this fight that is going to happen feel so box office with that war of words, that war of attrition. And I love that because not in my mind did I think we'd have Roman versus CM Punk headlining for the second year in Vegas. I think timeline-wise, if we really thought about it, Seth Rollins should probably still be champion right now if he didn't get hurt. The title had to go back on CM Punk after all that stuff. So we probably were supposed to get Seth versus Roman at WrestleMania finally in the main event, but that's not the course we're at now. We have to pivot. But the way they sold this promo and the way Punk is saying that, hey, I brought you guys into the company. Good job for lasting this long. And Roman saying like, yeah, of course you're doing all these tour dates and going to all these cities. You're trying to get it in. I would too. You took a 10-year break. Great jabs, great back and forth, all makes sense, all tied to each other. And Roman said, hey, I'm not taking the easy way out. I can say you're the biggest star, but I'm picking you because I hate you. I've always hated you. And even throwing in the fact that he was at the top of the industry and they had to check in with Roman just to see if he wanted CM Punk back. Great stuff. And I think over the next, 2 months till WrestleMania, we'll get more promos like this without them even having to touch. So it's going to make that match feel that much bigger than it did tonight. But as far as tonight, they sold me. I hope they don't mess it up that much. We'll see what happens with the championship on SmackDown with Drew. But Roman versus CM Punk for the world title, whatever way they go, the promo, the war of words, this sold that match more than anything else could have been. Because it's prized on disgust. They both have history together as far as they haven't exactly crossed paths, but brought the Shield into the company. I welcomed you back. I shook your hand like a man and you tried to sun me. It's like, no, like this is my turf. One thing to note, if you follow the socials, you follow these wrestlers on socials and things like that, I think it went viral that Jey Uso said, hey, like, y'all don't really deserve my family for real. Better appreciate us while you're here. I don't know if this leading into some like old whole new bloodline saga where it's like we're going to make sure we're at the top of the industry again, but something to pay attention to and notice because Roman did bring it up a few times. Like the reason that he's here is because his family put the company on their back and made them profitable and all this money. But I liked it. And now we're going to get CM Punk versus Roman Reigns. Main event of WrestleMania. Since Punk got his main event last year and it was on night 1, got to believe this is on night 2. So I'm only hoping that my theory is that the ruler somehow gets his way into the chamber and he's in that match with Drew, Jacob, and Cody somehow. But next week, as far as action is concerned, we got our Elimination Chamber qualifier matches taking place starting next week. We're going to get Maxine taking on Natty. And a number of other things I'm pretty sure are going to shake out with the whole Vision stuff in LA Knight. But I appreciate you guys rocking with me. A lot of y'all pulled up. You guys were good at the directions of seeing the red light and just pulling up on your boy. So I appreciate that. We're going to have a lot of content going forward for you guys. I know TK is back this week, so we'll be back on Wednesday for WWE2 Live. Since the councilman has his VPN, make sure you cop that NordVPN. We might have some NXT watchbacks this week as well. Of course, we're going to crown a new NXT champion tomorrow night in a 7-man ladder match, I believe. And then, of course, AEW watch along Wednesday night. Shout out to Stone Cold Courtney Rice, who was actually in Philly today at Monday Night Raw, and I'm pretty sure she'll bring her thoughts to her watch along as well as WWE Live on Wednesday. But until then, guys, I guess I'll drop my socials because I didn't earlier. Said is the answer on the gram. Said is the answer on the TikTok whenever that thing starts wanting to work well for the population of America. Said says on the Twitter, CEDD_SAYS, and of course my website, CedricDWelton.com, where all my journalistic writings and stuff are there. I'll be updating that soon. But of course, we'll be back on Friday for more wrestling talk, more women's wrestling, more news, more everything, because it's the season. It's the season for it. WrestleMania will be here before you know it. But appreciate y'all rocking with your boy. This has been the Monday Nightmare Raw recap on WWT Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet. Peace out, y'all.
Thanks for joining WWT. Don't forget to like us on all social media platforms at WW Talk Pod. Like and subscribe on all video and audio platforms, like yesterday, my G. And check out our website at www.talkpod.com. Thanks for watching Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.